Okay, and we're officially back.
Okay.
It's been a little while, and as always, just life will happen 100% of the time. And I've learned to look at life more like a dance rather than a race. And in a dance, we go forward, we go backwards, we go sideways, and a great dancer will enjoy every move. So here we are, taking a new step forward, which is simply just getting back into something we love doing, which is this podcast, having these conversations with each other and with whoever wants to listen and take something away from our story and the beautiful things that God keeps doing for us and with us. How are you?
Yes, it's so nice to be back here with you. I think we said we were going to be back like a month ago. And it's just been one thing after another with the kids, life, and but finally we're here. And we love being here. It's fun for us. We love sharing what God has been speaking to our hearts with the purpose of sharing messages for other families, marriages, and anyone who wants to listen in and get inspired with these thoughts and experiences that we live as a
Yeah.
family.
Speaking of experiences, so we wanted to talk about
What's been
something.
going on in our family life?
Yeah, so I think it's been, I guess, three major things in
I'm
the
not
past.
pregnant.
No, no, you're not. I
Don't
think
don't panic.
three major things. We got a dog.
We added a family member. Yes.
Yeah, his name is Francis, and he is an English cream golden retriever. I'm just so proud saying that because I never thought I would have one. So it would be Francis, and then the other thing that happened is I went to Rome and Assisi for a pilgrimage, and the World Cup happened, and it's still happening.
Yep, those are the
So
three reasons that we have been away.
yeah, fair enough, I guess, right?
Pretty.
Yeah, when I went to Assisi, a friend of mine told me, he's like, "So your wife is gonna stay home with five kids and a puppy?" And I was like, "Apparently." So, so yeah, so we can talk a little bit about that too, because that's also one of those things that I never thought that I would do, and I didn't know that it was going to happen until the day off, because of a good friend of mine called me, a friend of mine who has his own pilgrimage company.
What's the name so we can shout him out?
Well, thank you
He's
for calling me
gonna.
out. I
Oh
have no
wow,
idea.
he's gonna be so upset.
Immaculate something.
He's changed the name in our defense several times.
One time. So anyway, so he called me and he's like, "Hey, so you know how you've always wanted to go on a pilgrimage with me? I have this pilgrimage, and it's going to be just four of us. And if you want to come with us, it'll be awesome because it's going to be very intimate. It's not going to be a big group. It's just going to be us, and it's going to be for 8 days, and we're going to walk a lot, and it's going to be awesome." And I'm pretty sure he said it was the Way of St. James. And I was like, "Hey, cool. I've always wanted to go." Or, I mean, I've always thought it would be interesting to go, right? So I sent a message to you. And when he told me, I'm like, "Yeah, this is not going to happen." But I sent a message to you because I know you like reading those things too. And, the first thing that you said was like, "Yes, you should go."
Well, it sounded to me a lot different at the time. It was like I didn't expect myself also for you to go, honestly, on this trip. But at the time when you sent me the message, Ricardo, our friend that has the pilgrimage company in Miami, he said, well, the CFRs are going to go, which was one of the CFRs that we knew very well, Father Gabriel, and then another one CFR Omar, and then a best friend of ours, also priest, Father Ricardo from St. Joseph
Yeah.
in Hialeah. And he was going, and I was like, oh my goodness, this is a lifetime experience. And I was thinking in my head, okay, he would be going with the CFRs, walking with the CFRs, praying with the CFRs. And then on top of that, this year is the Franciscan Jubilee year. So like that's what went through my head. And it's funny because I'm not really the type to sacrifice for like long trips or be like excited for you when you're like, hey, I'm leaving for like a day. But when it comes to spiritual things, I don't know, like my heart sparks for your soul. Like I feel like it's like you're going to bring those blessings home to us. I don't know. It's so different for me. Like, it's like I offer it up to the Lord, and I'm just, wow, like, this is a great experience. I felt the same way when you went to Fatima a few years ago.
Yeah.
And it's the only time where I'm like, okay, I can do this. Because I just visualize the experience, and it seems amazing. It just seems like a dream.
Yeah. And, so the response that I got from you immediately motivated me to say yes. And I think we thought about it for like maybe a couple of days, if that. And we said, yes, we should do it. So again, this was a pilgrimage that I was like, okay, I'll do the way of St. James. But I'm mostly going because of the people that are going, right? Like you said, the FFRs, Father Ricardo.
Yeah, the connection you had with these priests particularly. And your friend Ricardo, which is one of your best friends that you've taken photography with.
Yeah.
And he's taught you so many things as well.
So that's the reason why I wanted to go, mostly. But then, going back to what I was saying, that I realized I was going to Assisi the day of is because I always thought we were going to the way of St. James. But then we were sitting down, we met at the airport.
The Camino.
Yeah, we were doing a Camino. And I was sitting down at the airport with all of them. We met up and we were having, like a pre-flight lunch kind of thing. And we're just sitting there. We're having lunch, we're having a beer. And then one of them says, yeah, I've always, wanted to go to Assisi. And I'm like, hey, I thought we were doing the way of St. James in Portugal. And my friend was like, no, we're not going to Portugal. I'm like, what do you mean we're not going to Portugal? I thought we were going there the whole time and we were going to stop at Assisi. But I thought we were going to Rome and walking to Portugal. And he's like, bro, are you crazy? That's not going to happen. No, we're going to Rome and we're walking to Assisi.
Which made total sense because, like I said, you're going with the CFRs.
Right.
You're going to be praying with them. And then it's the Jubilee year of the Franciscans.
Yeah.
And on top of that, you had bought a book that they told you to read that was it was for San Francis.
Yeah, it was something like 365 days with
St. Francis.
St. Francis.
So it totally made sense.
Of course, but I never put two and two together. I was just, hey, I'm going on a pilgrimage with some friends. That's awesome. So that day, we were, it was a really good time. We all laughed, and I was just, at that moment, I was so, like, if I was already like a 10 out of 10, I went to like 100 out of 10 because I was just so excited. I was like, I'm dying to go to Italy, and I didn't know. Like, I really want to go there. Like, I can't believe we're going to be in Italy for 8 days and walking in different, like, towns and things like that. So it started that way, and then it only got better after that. We made it to Rome, and we walked more than I have ever walked in my whole life. And to the point where I thought about giving up. And, and it wasn't just me. My friend who does pilgrimages all the time, and he was getting ready to give up in some areas of the path. But again, we were going with 2 Franciscan friars. One of them is a priest, and then we went with another friend who is a priest. So every day we would have Eucharist. Every day we would have Holy Hour, and then every day we're talking. And it's not. See, I almost felt like it wasn't a pilgrimage simply because I felt like I went with friends. I felt like I went on a trip. It was that good of a pilgrimage that it was a trip. Like we were just talking and having fun and hitting up, little bars, little restaurants, little places everywhere, and just like brothers, like just having a good time. And everywhere we went, we were speaking truth kind of thing. We were talking meaningful things, meaningful conversations, and then some, in just little areas of the day or little moments of the day, then we would be silly and have stupid conversations, and it was all just like so beautiful. We got to spend really meaningful time together, and I remember almost every single day. And I don't know. I think it's one of those things. While I was going through it, I missed you guys a lot. Especially when I would talk to you and the kids. But I couldn't believe what I was living. Right, like it was one of those moments that I was like, okay, I don't think this is happening again anytime soon. Like this is just so perfect. And I don't know. I mean, I could talk about that so much, but
also you got to see the Pope.
I got to see the Pope.
That was an experience you weren't expecting.
I got to see the Pope, and it was a very healing experience. It was a healing experience because I have never been someone who would want to go to the Vatican simply because of the lines. I'm an anti-lines. I don't do lines, right? I'm not gonna wait 3 hours to, So I was never, that was never like in my bucket list. But I was going with the friars, and I was like, hey, yeah, we'll go. And my friend told me, he's like, hey, if we make it at this time, when he's just so knowledgeable. He's like, if we make it at this time, we go through this entrance.
I have to find the name of his.
Yeah.
Because we got to shout him out.
Yeah, so he's very knowledgeable. So he told us what to do so that we can make shorter lines and then still see the Pope. So we made it there to the Vatican about 9 a.m. Mm-hmm. We only sat in line for about 30 minutes. Again, having a really good time in the middle of the line. And then we sat down very close. It's not like we got there super early, but we got to sit very close. But we aimed to be very close to the aisle rather than the front, because if you sit next to the aisle, that's where he goes around in the Pope mobile, right? So we sat right next to that aisle, and he talked for about half an hour. And then he went around on the Pope mobile, and that was my favorite part, right? Like seeing him on that little car. Cool. Yeah, it was just really funny, And then I love people, how excited they were to see him. So I thought how hard it has to be for him, because I know the Pope is a humble person. So for him to be in that car with people shouting his name and treating him like he's God, I know it has to be hard for him.
Yes.
But he still has to do it. So I love that. I love saying like, hey, sorry, man. Sorry, but you got to do it. We all love what you're doing.
And he has to go out on that car every day?
I don't think it's every day. I think it's every Tuesday or every Wednesday.
Okay, they have like certain dates.
Uh-huh. Okay. And then I love when kids, when people when he blesses the babies, and some kids are like super excited,
So how can you get your baby over there to him? We've never gone.
You just have to be there with your baby, and then you hand it to him, and then obviously he doesn't stop for every baby, but he stops for a lot of them.
Okay.
So, and as soon as he went by us, then we left. We just, okay, we saw him, we heard him, let's go. But it was a healing experience for me, because a year ago when he got chosen as the Pope, I was going through a very rough time. And when I saw him coming out, and I saw the look in his eye of just being chosen for something he never thought he would do. And I thought to myself, I wonder if he's feeling like I'm feeling, because I was just going through something really hard. And so to see him a year later feeling what I was feeling, I was just so excited to be there. And to see him smiling, waving, and doing his Pope thing, it was just so healing to me, because God gave me out of that horrible experience, he turned everything around for us. And to be there with the Pope a year later,
It was
kind of
like
like a,
it was like a God's message. Like,
yeah,
you're
yeah,
gonna
like he
be
turned it all around
you're
for
gonna
me, and
be
he
all
put me
right.
right back, but feeling a much different way, much, like it was like a full circle
Yeah,
moment.
I love
So
that.
that's how that was day one. That was just day one, and things just kept getting better and better. So uh, again, we started walking, and it was during the day. They were very long walks, and when we got to different towns at night, we could barely move. We would shower and then go have dinner, have a really good time at dinner.
How were the showers? I haven't asked you. Was it like cold water or was there
No,
hot
no, it
water?
was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Okay.
wasn't that kind of a trip. Like it was AC where we needed it,
Mm-hmm.
um, and it was hot showers, so not a
Okay.
problem there. And then the food, oh my God.
Really quick. So the company's called Immacu. Wait, hold on.
Yeah, I know it was.
Immaculata Travel.
Imma- what is it?
Immaculata Travel.
Yeah, I know it was something immaculate.
Mm-hmm. Catholic Travel.
Yeah. So
You can find it on Instagram.
yeah, and he's the one that led us the whole way. So he's such an amazing person, and because you're looking at something at some kind of church, the most random church in the way to Assisi. Like it's like the most random church, obviously beautiful, and then you're just looking at a piece of art or painting or cross or building something, and then he sneaks up behind you and then he starts whispering like something about that church, like, hey, so yeah, like 800 years ago, like blah, 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 and it was so cool.
Yeah.
And he's always been like that. Every time I went to many things with him, right? Not necessarily to Italy, but even here in the States, and he's always like that. He's just so knowledgeable. So it's like having your own private guide, and on top of that, he's your friend, and he just knows so much. So I love those little moments where I would just be looking at something, and then out of nowhere he comes and he's like, hey, so that was actually done by
That's cool.
So, and then we made it to Assisi, and it was like every time I talk to someone, they're like, hey, it's like a piece of heaven. And I think that the little town, it was just so beautiful. Like I could just, while I was there, I just dreamed of being there with you and the kids. Um, it was it was just so beautiful. But the I don't know if it's called the Basilica, maybe, I don't know, Saint Francis. That was,
Assisi in
yeah,
Assisi.
in Assisi, yeah.
Mhm. Once you guys finally made it,
Yeah.
that was your destination from
Hmm.
Rome to Assisi.
When we made it in there and we went to mass in there, to me was like the most beautiful temple out of all of them, the ones I went to in Italy. And I went to beautiful ones, right? Because in Rome, every church, every temple, it's like a piece of art that
That's
you
the beautiful
that you
thing.
can't even. It's like you can't. You're looking at it, but it's so much to take in everywhere. The detail, the amount of detail. But Assisi was my favorite one. Just the colors. In reality, it was the colors, and I thought of you when it comes to the colors, right? So yeah, so many cool things. And then one of my favorite parts was that last time when I went to pilgrimage with Dynamic Catholic to Fatima, I brought you a like a poncho, right? I went to the town where Mary appeared to Lucy, Jacinta, and what was the boy's name? Do you remember?
Oh my God, you're asking me this at night.
Yeah.
Francisco.
Francisco? Okay.
Isn't it? Right? Yeah.
Maybe,
Oh my
I
God,
don't know.
I'm gonna read
So I went to the town, which I don't know, I don't remember the name, but they had those ponchos there, and I brought it for you, and I know you love it. And even like here in Florida in the middle of the summer, and you still wear it here at home at night sometimes when you get
Yeah.
cold. And it's awesome, You told me a friend of ours saw you one time with it, and then she's like, "Hey, you look like a woman from Portugal."
Oh yes.
And you were like,
a
"Oh yeah,
friend
well, like
from
my
our
husband brought it."
homeschool group
Yeah.
always
So it
tells
was
me
pretty
she
cool.
likes
And then
it.
now you're wearing a scarf,
Oh, yes.
that I
So
brought you.
tonight I decided, since we were going to talk about your trip to Assisi, I was like,
Yeah.
I'll wear this
So
scarf.
I got you the scarf from Assisi, and I'm like, hey, every time I go somewhere, I'm gonna try to get her some kind of um,
Scarf.
some kind of scarf or
So
hoodie or
what was that
something.
you said about this scarf, that it was like
Yeah, I already
handmade?
forgot everything they told me. I mean, it was
Oh.
the salesperson, so I mean, half of it is probably not true, but yeah, but it's everything is like handmade. But shopping there would have been really cool, like to go there with good money to shop. Yeah, because I don't think it was that expensive. And then if you pay cash, they drop the price like like 40%. Like it's a crazy amount. Like they'll sell you
Oh.
something for 180
They probably
euros.
get charged a lot to slide the
Yeah,
card.
exactly. Or just in, I guess, in taxes, or I don't
Maybe.
know, because I bought a bag that was 180 euros, and then she said if you pay me cash it's 100, and I'm like, it's an 80 euro difference. Of course I'm gonna pay cash. So
Oh, wow.
yeah, so it's and then the stuff that they have is just so beautiful. Like the things that you can buy there in Assisi and in Italy, just in general, when it comes to faith, it's beautiful. So
Yeah, I definitely dream of going to Assisi with the kids. I think those are my two top things. Like, obviously, taking them to be able to experience the Pope, and then also, if God willing allows us, to go to Assisi so that they can see like all the things we talk about at home in homeschooling,
yeah,
all the things we learn about Carlo Cuti, Saint Clair, Saint Francis.
yeah,
I think it would be such a nice experience. On
yeah,
top of the fact that it's a beautiful place
yeah. I think they
and
would just have
food
to
is
be
good and
they would just have to be a little bit bigger,
a little bit.
because I don't believe that there was a lot of things to do for kids in Assisi, for example. There wasn't. So I think they have to be a little bit bigger, older, so that they could appreciate a little bit more. And obviously, we wouldn't stay that long, because it's not like they have an amusement park that you can go to, right?
Yeah.
But we can go from place to place, and that'd be pretty cool. But anyway, so one of the things I wanted to make a connection to with the World Cup, for example, is that the World Cup is being played here in the States, and it's like a golden opportunity for me to go to a game, a Colombia game, right? But then the whole thing with the prices, like it was just so much money. And one could say like, hey, but it's a one-time opportunity, and I would agree. But every time I started doing math in my head, and I said, well, okay, I could get money out of here and money out of there, and then we can somehow make it happen, and I can go and live this dream. And then I will do like the mental exercise of actually pulling the money out of my pocket, and then I would immediately say, I went to Italy for 8 days on a pilgrimage, saw the most beautiful landscapes I've ever seen in my life, spent, uh, you know, a lot of money in food, like eating, like having good dinners, a good dinner with my friends. And I visited, 5, 6 different towns for this amount of money that I'm about to pay for a ticket for a soccer game that will last 2 hours. Not saying it's bad, not saying it's wrong, not saying anyone who did it made a bad choice, but for me personally, I would rather go back to Assisi, or I would rather go somewhere else where I can take a trip to. I just thought about the fact of coming back from the game, coming home. I put myself in that position. How would I feel on the way back, regardless of if my team won or lost? How am I going to feel on the way back? It will take me less than a second to know that I will be regretting it, regardless of the experience. So, it's
Yeah, I
amazing.
think it just depends, like, yeah, where you're at in seasons of life, your priorities at the time, and definitely at the time. Well, another thing is that thanks to Ricardo being, your friend, this trip was also much more affordable.
Yeah,
being able
Yeah.
to your flight was affordable. It was affordable to be there. The whole experience was just very affordable.
Right.
And I think that's also why we agreed for you to go, because we're like, if you ever go on your own, it's not going to be this price. Could be a lot more.
Yeah.
So that's another reason why we agreed for you to go to Italy. So I think it was a very good experience, and I think in regards to the World Cup, it was just like, I feel like, if it could be a dream to go, but I think it just depends also on timing and the season you're in life, and as a family that has other priorities right now and has other things going on, like we wanted to fix the grass area in the backyard, so
Yeah.
we're like, okay, we could spend money on the ticket, but then we could fix up the grass area for the kids in the
Yeah.
back.
And and I think for this podcast and for this conversation and for the purpose of what we're doing, I think one of the biggest takeaways with the trip, with the World Cup, with the dog, I would say that having a large family, and homeschooling your kids, it requires that you give up a lot of things, right? Because maybe I could have done everything. I could have gotten the dog. I could have gone to Italy, and I could have gone to a World Cup game. But I had to say no because we have other things going on here at home. Like we really wanted to fix up the grass area in the back for the kids, and it made a huge difference, right? Like once we paid for that, you and I were so happy that we did that. And the kids, the babies, a couple of weeks ago, we went out there with the baby, the 1 year old, and you're like, hey, like it's really cool, but I can't put her on the ground here because there's just so many things that she just doesn't like it. And I'm like, okay, like what is a backyard if you can't be comfortable, if a baby can't be out here? So that's when we made the decision, and we're like, hey, let's fix it up.
Yeah.
And we did it, and it never hurt to do it. We paid what we had to pay, and the baby was so happy.
Yeah, she's
standing
been
on that
having
thing.
fun out there.
Yeah, she loves it. So it's a,
And maybe in another season, it would have been okay to buy the ticket.
of course.
Yeah, except now it's not in Miami, so
Yeah, but
or it's not
it's okay.
in close by or Atlanta.
See, I've learned that from Dave Ramsey. You have to one of the signs that you're maturing in your life, regardless of your age. Well, I'm talking about like mentality when it comes to finances mostly, but just in general, when you're able to get away from the thought of it's now or never. Like that's not a healthy thought, because most of the time it's not true. You will have another opportunity. And 2 years ago, there was a game here in Miami. It was Colombia versus Argentina for the Copa America final. And I remember someone called me and they're like, hey man, you got to go. I'm like, it's just a lot of money, And they said, well, it's like now or never. Like, it's Messi. He's about to retire. It's probably his last final. And then it's Colombia. Like, when is Colombia in a final? Like, when do they make it to a final ever? And then on top of that, it's here in Miami. It's like a now or never thing. It's never going to happen again.
For someone who loves soccer.
Yeah, well, yeah,
right?
of course.
We're talking about someone who loves soccer.
So I was like, you know what? Yes, this, I got to do it. It's now or never. And I did it, and I had one of the most horrible experiences in my entire life. There's many, because of many things. I guess a lot of people know what happened in the stadium. It was chaotic. But the worst thing was that I felt, like a clown while I was there. I was like, why am I here? I don't think I should be here. And I spent a lot of money to be here. I understand if I was obligated to be here and someone paid me, and I would have been like, man, I still shouldn't have been here. Money's not worth it. But I paid to be where I was. So I felt like a clown. And on the way back, I said, I never want to feel like this again in my life. And But going back to the it's now or never, 2 years later, we're back again with the hey, it's now or never, because now it's the World Cup here. And Colombia played here in Miami against Portugal with Cristiano Ronaldo for a World Cup bigger than Copa America. So it happened again. So the whole thing about it's now or never 2 years ago was false. It
Well,
happened
now
again.
this year it could have been now or never.
Yeah, but that's okay. That's okay. It could be now or never, but
In the sense of
that is not a
Cristiano
good
and all
that is
those
not a good
players.
motivator for good decisions.
Well, going back to the faith aspect about it, I would say as a marriage, it's more of a reminder that you have to consistently be discerning, in asking God, okay, and talking, having conversations, communicating as a marriage. Like, I think that's one of the things that we realized we were doing wrong maybe a few months ago. We're like, okay, like, I don't know how, but we weren't like on the same page all the time. Like we thought we were on the same page, but these little things kept coming up, and we're like, wait, no, like we're not on the same page. Like you're saying yes to this, I'm saying no. He's saying, I'm saying yes to this, and then you're like no, and so
Yeah.
we're like, what's going on? So then we're like, okay, we have to like reconnect. Like, what's important in this season? We heard a quote that was really good, and it was like, okay, sometimes you have to say no to the good to say yes to the best, and the best is not going to look the same for every family. That's also what is important to know, and it's not going to look the same for each family.
Yeah.
The best for us might look different for another family, and that's okay. But we have to be communicating, and what are we going to say no to, and what are we going to say yes to, and what season are we in, and what's really important to us.
Yeah.
So I think for us this year, what did we say yes to a spiritual experience, for you to go on this pilgrimage. And then what did we say no to? Well, maybe like it was kind of hard to just spend money on like the World Cup, because it was a lot, and it was just on a ticket, which is amazing experience, but we had other things going on at the time.
Well, we said no to a game and yes to our backyard.
Yeah, and
which
yes,
was awesome.
Exactly, which we were so happy about. We're like, oh, good thing we did this, because we needed to fix this grass area. It was so needed for the babies and for the kids to be joyful. And even us, we were like happy out there, because before we had like this hard, like, what do you call that stuff? Mulch.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, their feet were...
Yeah, it looked dirty.
It was uncomfortable, and it was just not good. So I feel like at the time, for us, our backyard was the yes and to the best. So, and when moving forward, like, I know that you also saw in Italy lots of golden English creams. That has been an experience for us.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, puppy's a puppy,
We've been adapting to having a puppy, which the puppy now is very big, and he doesn't look like a puppy, but he's still a puppy.
Yeah, 6 months old.
But he's pretty big. It's been challenging because I didn't expect it to be as hard as it has been. But I have been also very happy with the way the kids have been enjoying Francis, and how he's a cuddler. He loves to be, hugged, and he loves to play, and the kids love him. They do help out. At the beginning, they weren't like all on board, but quickly we were like, okay, you guys wanted this dog, you gotta, which I have kind of loved, kind of showing them, like I've been talking to my older kids and telling them like, okay, like, you asked for a dog, and we talk about love is sacrifice, right? We tell them all the time about Jesus' love and sacrifice. Well, look, sacrifice, picking up poop, picking up after, Mila, my oldest daughter is like, oh my God, this is so hard. He's not listening. I'm like, yep, you see? But we're not going to give him back, right?
Mm.
No, that's why we just keep moving forward and we keep loving and loving him and we keep trying to teach him,
Mm.
And that's how it is. That's for us as parents, because sometimes my kids will be like, Mommy, are you tired? Is this hard work for you? And I'll be like, the truth is, Mommy is a little tired, but I love you, and this love is sacrifice, and God has called me to be a mother, and it's not always going to be easy. There's going to be days where I'm going to be tired. There's going to be days where I'm going to have to surrender, and this is the job that God has given me and
Yeah.
trusted me with. Just like he's trusting you with Francis now, and I'm trusting you to go help with Francis. And love is sacrifice, and you're not going to give him back, right? So we're going to keep him.
Hmm.
So I think it's been a good comparison because we're always having those conversations.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to lie, it has been kind of hard. But I'm hoping he's going to turn 1 or 2 and he's going to calm down.
Yeah. And he will. Well, just like with babies, when
Yeah,
they're
I'm used to babies. I'm not used to dogs.
no.
This is
No.
new for me.
Yeah, but like you said, I mean, it's love is a sacrifice. So, it to me it has been my dream dog, right? Like I went all the way to Atlanta to pick him up and bring him here, and we saw
And
him.
in Italy, you saw a bunch of them,
Yeah,
right?
while I was in Italy, we would walk around towns, and they were everywhere. And I was like, okay, I don't think they're that expensive here.
Yeah,
Because
that's
they're
what I was
everywhere.
thinking when you kept
And it's
sending
like,
me pictures of them. I'm like, wow, they're popular over
yeah,
there.
and you know what? I saw a place where it was like I think it was like an adoption center, and of course there was a lot of dogs, but there was a lot of these dogs, a lot of golden retrievers, English cream
Oh,
golden
you didn't tell me
retrievers,
that.
and I'm like, okay, I don't think they're like that special here. And each house, not each house, but in a lot of houses, it wasn't like one that would come up. It was like two that would come up to
Wow.
greet us, And I'm like, oh wow, okay. But I guess here they're, special and expensive. And I think the first time I saw them was when we went to pick up our Christmas tree 2 years ago, and when we rolled up to get it tied up in our roof, we would see two dogs, hanging out with people there. And
Oh,
then I was like,
yeah.
man, I think those are golden retrievers, but they're white. They're like pure white, and this is like cold season, so and around Christmas stuff, so they just look so beautiful. And then, and then last year happened again. We rolled by, they put the tree up on our roof, and they were tying it up, and I saw the dogs again. So I asked one of the guys, I'm like, hey, are those golden retrievers? And he's like, those are English cream golden retrievers. And I was like, wow, would be so cool to have that dog. But I saw it, I said, like, man, I'm never gonna have one of those. And then we started like doing our research when we said, let's get a dog.
Well,
And
our oldest daughter started praying for like
yeah,
a year for a dog. And she
uh-huh,
kept like drawing letters to Jesus and please Jesus. And then she'd like tell daddy, like, send it in the mail to Jesus.
yeah.
And then we'd
And
be
then she wrote like a Christmas letter to
and then
Jesus.
she did a final Christmas one that
Yeah.
just convinced daddy to get it.
So I understand that having a lot of kids may not be like the perfect time to get a dog, but it's just all the letters that kind of like,
And then she was turning 10.
yeah.
And
So I was like, okay, let's do it. And I'm not sure, how good of a decision it was, but
Here we are.
but here we are, and we love Francis, and he's warmed up to us a lot, and the kids love him too, so we'll have an update soon. So far, he eats absolutely everything that he finds.
Oh,
So,
yeah. That's been the surprising part for
Yeah.
me. Like, he loves food. It's insane. Like,
Yeah.
you cannot have anything out
yeah.
exposed.
And he's not like you can get it out of his mouth. Like he will swallow it immediately. So, okay.
That's-
So hopefully he gets better when it comes to the chewing on everything he sees, and yeah. But yeah, those are the three big updates. We have really cool stuff coming up.
Yeah, we are excited. We're going to start being a lot more intentional about our podcasts.
But I don't know if you want to announce anything now of the things coming up or
Yeah, we have a guest coming up this month that I'm really excited about. We are
okay.
really excited
Yeah.
about. And then, we have also, we do want to do more talks, you and I,
Yeah.
and be more intentional about that. And yeah, we're gonna try to keep trying to get the podcast going and expose it to more families and
Yeah.
marriages. And we ask that if it's possible, if you can like, share, subscribe on Apple, on YouTube, it helps get it to more people with the intention of sharing good and beautiful messages for families to be inspired in God's love. And that's kind of like our purpose, just inspiring families to live out their faith and trust God and share these stories for the families and for those who are maybe desiring to start one or doubting if they want to get married.
Or they're in one, they already have a large family and they're struggling, thinking that, maybe they're not doing things right because they had too many kids.
That's
Because I've heard that.
true. That's
And
true.
and that's it's not true. Well, like, yeah, it's
I'm
true, it
saying
happens,
like
but
yeah, that's what I
but
meant.
they're wrong. It's not a mistake, and having a large family is not.
Yeah, there's different seasons. I think like maybe that's something good to talk about real quick. Like the Lord has been stirring my heart. Like we just can't compare each other. He has a calling for each family. He has a mission for each family. Some might have one child, and that's a blessing. And you're a holy family. Just in the image of Jesus' family. That's beautiful.
Yeah,
And then some of us might be called to have more children, and God gives us that. And that's a beautiful too, because we're also like growing God's kingdom. We're bringing more souls to the world that are going to be taught about God in our home. And that's also beautiful and a special calling.
yeah,
Being open to life. And if God allows it and gives it to you, if he's trusting you, it's because you guys can do it, and because he's going to provide. But I think that there has to be a lot of intentionality behind it. It is important for both the husband and wife to be united in
yeah,
those decisions and thoughts, and in prayer. And again, going back to what do we have to say yes to and what do we have to say no to?
yeah. Well, that it's a big subject, and
Maybe we could do a next podcast.
yeah, yeah. For now,
Discerning your family size or discerning family decisions.
yeah.
I don't know.
For now, I think I will leave you with a thought or a phrase that has helped me a lot. Just because it's a good opportunity doesn't mean that it's a good opportunity for you. Yeah.
But how does that, like, how can we apply that to what?
Well,
Like,
it's a good opportunity for the World Cup game to be in Miami, but it's not a good opportunity for me
oh, we're talking about the World Cup again.
or anything in life. Just because it's a good opportunity, like, hey, this car it's a deal, like, hey, it's half off. Sure, it's a good opportunity.
What about in regards to like family life and what you were saying?
Well, just the decisions we make. Like I can't come here with a new car simply because it was half price.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it was a good opportunity, but I'm just not in a financial position to get a new car. So it could be the best
Yeah.
deal in the world.
Yeah. Also, we homeschool, and there could be some judgment in that, oh, like people who homeschool is because the wife is able to stay at home, and, it's not that simple. Like, I think that depending on what you choose to prioritize, right? I think for us, something we've loved is just me being with the kids, and I love it too. I love being with my kids. So in that sense, I think we've surrendered maybe certain kind of trips or certain, having more things, or I don't know, in different season, we've said no to different things. And then, because there's only, you're the one providing, right?
Yeah. Well, I think.
And then that's allowed us to be able to homeschool, because maybe we're like, okay, maybe we're just gonna go to the beach this summer.
Yeah. Well, I think we've talked about, we've always said that homeschooling is a calling. So if God is calling you to do something, He will provide and He will pave the way and He will show you and He will give you signs.
Yeah.
He will not be shorting signs.
Yeah.
If that's your calling.
And what I'm saying is more of like the decision part.
Mm-hmm.
Like in the sense of like, in that sense, we've also had to say no to certain things to be able to homeschool too.
Yeah. Well, exactly.
Or make these decisions, or you being the only one providing.
I mean, just imagine the amount of things that we have to say no to because we're a one-income family.
Exactly.
So yeah, you give up a lot of things, but like you were saying with the dog, love is a sacrifice. And homeschooling our kids is one way that we choose to love them. So we have to sacrifice other things. So
yeah, depending back again on your season of life, your priorities as a marriage and as a family might look different, but being in communication of what you guys want to say yes and what you guys want to say no to.
So thank you very much for being here with us today in this episode. We love being here with you, and then again, hoping that this could reach the right person at the right time. Thank you for being here with me, for your patience. We had recorded an episode about this already, but I forgot to hit record on the audio part. So you've already gotten over it. I'm over it. It's a new day, a new opportunity. So
all right, see you in the next one.
We'll see you next time.